Good evening and welcome. We've had a wonderful year and we're excited to share this celebration with you this evening. You just heard the Guitar 2 class play their arrangement of Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. We arranged this piece to perform for the Williamson County School Board earlier this semester. The concert was a great success and we showed how guitar education can become an integral part of the public school music programs. Now, I'd like to introduce Liam Cortez on behalf of Guitar 1.
The next piece is I Wish by R&B icon Stevie Wonder. It will feature Guitar 1 students and was approached without using a chord chart. I Wish features a reoccurring 2-chord riff and is really all about the vocalist. It's a great song for thinking like a background player. There's a small section of the song where the chords are a little more complex, but the real focus is on the bass line. There you'll hear us pluck out the bass line in much the same way a bass player would do. Our vocalist will be Vergara Cruz. She performed the role of Belle in the Springs production of Beauty and the Beast. She's also student body president. Please welcome Riley Cruz and the Guitar 1 students performing I Wish.
When my only worry was for Christmas, what would be my joy? Even though we sometimes would not get a thing, we were happy with the joy the day would bring. We were fun to hang out with some other friends of mine. Oh, greeted at the back door, the boy thought I told you not to go outside. Trying your best to bring the water to your eyes, hoping that would stop her from whooping you behind. I wish those days could come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? I wish those days could come back once more. Why did those days ever have to go? I love them so.
The orchestra has won accolades at regional, state, and national level with the performances of Mozart and Haydn. This year, we have branched out to some new genres through pop and this semester, jazz. We will now perform Van Morrison's Moon Dance.
favorite things about guitar is the time that we get to spend arranging music and working in a little bit smaller groups. So here is Tom Broadhead, Drew Ebert, Kayla Murphy, just them, performing their arrangement of House of Gold by 21 Pilots.
Oh, wait, one quick correction. Katrina O'Reilly was the previous introduction, not Sam Cortez. He could not be with us tonight. So sorry about that, Katrina. Sorry for the omission. All right. I got the call today I didn't want to hear, but I knew that it would come. An old true friend of ours was talking on the phone. She said you found someone. And I thought of all the bad luck, the struggles we went through, and how I lost me, and you lost you. What are these voices outside love's open door? Make us throw up our contentment and beg for something more. I'm learning to live without you now, but I miss you sometimes. The more I know, the less I understand. All the things I thought I knew, I'm learning again. Been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak, and my thoughts seem to scatter. But I think it's about forgiveness, forgiveness. Even if you don't love me anymore. Oh, these times are so uncertain. There's a yearning undefined, people filled with rage. We all need a little tenderness. How can love survive in such a graceless age? The trust and self-assurance that can lead to happiness are the very things we kill. I guess pride and competition can't fill these empty arms, and the work I put between us, it doesn't keep me warm. I'm learning to live without you now, but I miss you, baby. The more I know, the less I understand. All the things I thought I figured out, I have to learn again. Trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but everything changes
worked with us on a classic piece known as Peter Gunn.
And now I'd like to welcome my sister Holly Logan performing Temporary Home. Just before I start, I wanted to say I want to dedicate this song to all of our seniors because they're leaving for college and we're all really, really sad about it because we've all been together for a really long time. And I just want to say I'm really blessed for having you guys and getting to be a part of your temporary home here at Centennial. So this is Temporary Home by Carrie Underwood. Little boy, 6 years old, a little too used to being alone. Another new mom and dad, another school, another house that'll never be home. When people ask him how he likes this place, he looks up and says with a smile upon his face, this is my temporary home.
not where I belong. Windows and rooms that I'm passing through. This is just a stop on the way to where I'm going. I'm not afraid because I know this is my temporary home. Young mom on her own, she needs a little help, got nowhere to go. She's looking for a job, looking for a way out, 'cause that halfway house will never be home. At night she whispers to her baby girl, someday we'll find a place here in this world. This is our temporary home, it's not where we belong. Windows and rooms that we're passing through. This is just a stop on the way to where we're going. I'm not afraid because I know this is our temporary home. Old man, hospital bed. The room is filled with people he loves. And he whispers, don't cry for me, I'll see you all someday. He looks up and says, I can't see God's face. This is my temporary home, it's not where I belong. Windows and rooms that I'm passing through. This was just a stop on the way to where I'm going. I'm not afraid because I know this is my temporary home.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Mrs. Cowan and I am the director of both the orchestra and co-director of the guitar ensemble. My other co-director is right at the back of the room right now, Mr. Jeff Myrick. The next person that we have coming up tonight has been a lot of fun to work with this year. He's played a lot so far. You've probably seen him with the our vocal octet, the octaves, at CHS as well. And tonight he's going to be performing a song by Rascal Flatts, and this is Joe Wandis.
Okay. I set out on a narrow way many years ago, hoping I would find true love along the broken road. But I got lost a time or two, while my brow kept pushing through. I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. And every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pulling me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true. God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. Oh, yeah. I think about the years I spent just passing through. I'd like to time I'm lost and give it back to you. Oh, and you just smile and take my hand. You've been there, you understand. It's all part of a greater plan that has come true. And every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah. And now I'm just rolling on into my lover's arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. Oh, yes, it did.
This next piece is actually a song that we did for, I believe we did this for the ambassador. No, we did this for the school board, didn't we? Oh no, it's the Fine Arts Festival. See, the guitar ensemble plays so many places I can't even keep up with it anymore. One of the things that I love about working with the kids at Centennial High School is they are so creative. And a lot of what you hear up here is arrangements that the students have done themselves. We collaborate in the classroom. They get a chord chart, and then we decide what kind of strum pattern is going to go well with it, what kind of sound do we want to get with it. The kids make their own changes to things, like in Peter Gunn, that muted part was originally written as a hand clap. But these guys said, we didn't like that, we liked the muted, and they came up with this on their own, said, Mrs. Cowan, we like it better that way. I said, yeah, guys, I do too. But not only that, they have enough confidence in themselves to go up to one of the top jazz guitarists and say, Mr. Henderson, we didn't like the hand claps, so we're going to do it this way. And Mr. Henderson said, well, all right then, let's do it. So what you're about to hear is one of my seniors that I swear embodies everything from Green Day, is going to sing this song for us tonight. We're going to play Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone up there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I'm walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind, on the borderline of the engine where I walk alone. Read between the lines what's messed up when everything's alright. Check my vital signs to know I'm still alive and I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone up there will find me. Till then I walk alone. I walk alone, I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one. I walk alone. The shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shadow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone there will find me. Till then I walk alone.
Our next performer is a senior from the guitar ensemble. She was a member of the original class 2 years ago. This year, she also took up violin and has made new friends in the orchestra. Please welcome to the stage Miss Kaylin Underwood, performing 22 Love Balloons. Okay, before I do this, I want to
present to Ms. Cowan something from the whole guitar class. Earlier this year, she gave me a sad broken guitar that was one of the school guitars, and she told me I could do whatever I wanted with it. So I painted it, and this is from the whole class. I love her very much. We put this together about an hour before this, so wish us luck. You and I in a little toy shop, buy a bag of balloons with the money we've got, set them free at the break of dawn, till one by one they were gone. Back in base box in the software, flash the message, something's out there, floating in the summer sky. 99 red balloons go by.
You know when you're sitting over there in the orchestra, and the light shining in your face, you can't really see the entire crowd, so it's great. Okay, so... So the orchestra, we've been working on a lot of different stuff this year. We've kind of moved out of the classical and into like jazz and contemporary. And this next one's called Fleckish. It's different, to say the least. A lot of the stuff that we had to do was stuff that our teachers, when we first started off, said not to do on our instruments. So we had to unlearn and then relearn everything. So the orchestra's presenting Fleckish.
We can't do this alone. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this piece. So, I worked it out this year that the orchestra and guitar ensemble spent a weekend, actually, out in the woods, working with some of the top jazz educators around, and they got to work with Miss Genevieve Simons. Miss Simons, they kind of came to find out, was the person who first put a violin in my hand when I was 9 years old. And apparently she told a lot of really bad stories about me that I deny completely. Never happened. But she came out, she is really amazing with alternative styles of playing. And she came up with this piece, Fleckish, and said, hey, can we play this one? And I said, sure. And how cool would it be if, we got with you conducting, and I'll do the solo on it, and you'll have my kids, and it's kind of a large pedagogical lineage there. My kids got conducted by their pedagogical grandmother, which was really great to see 3 generations of string students in one place. That same weekend, we were graced by the presence of Miss Susan Abel, who was right here. She is the new orchestra director at Grassland Middle School and Brentwood Middle School, and she has just started those programs this year. Give her a round of applause for that. Miss Abel jumped in with us and made her debut. This was just last weekend, wasn't it? Feels like a lifetime ago. She made her debut on bass, so she originally played the bass part for us. Miss Simons couldn't be here tonight. She sent heartfelt thanks to the orchestra. So I can't be in 3 places at once, so Miss Abel has graciously agreed to come in and conduct for us tonight, and so that I can do the other parts of this. So here we are presenting Fleckish. a little bit this evening. This is a hard time of year for teachers because we have to say goodbye. We have to say goodbye to some people who have made our world a happy place sometimes for 4 years. Tom. Oh no, our seniors, this is the last time that our seniors will play in a concert like this in this auditorium, and these seniors have been an amazing class. It has been an honor to work with them. Right now, I would like for all of my seniors to please join us at the front of the stage. Scoot down. Let them have some room. Go. You're okay. Keep going. Look, there's a lot of seniors. Keep going. These lovely young people are going to be heading out into the world in just a matter of weeks. They will walk across that stage. They will get their diplomas, and then they will head on into what life has in store for them. But we must absolutely thank them for what they have done for us here. And the first one that I need to give is this one. These are my juniors who are helping me out. Okay, I'm going to try not to get emotional here, but the first award goes to a young man who walked into my classroom 4 years ago. Really quietly, and I looked at him and I said, oh, definitely a bass player. Gotta be a bass player. And then I turned around and he had a violin. And I was so surprised. But it ended up, he was a great violinist. And as this worked, he has been quite the young man here with me all the time. The first one volunteering to help us set things up, the first one volunteering to help out in any way that he can. And this year he was awarded by joining the Tennessee Mid-State Orchestra. I believe he ranked 24th best violinist in all of Middle Tennessee. And we're going to miss you, Robert. But this year's award for the orchestra, for the Centennial Orchestra, goes to Mr. Robert Whitaker. Now, there are a few people in this group who last year I took on, well, they asked me to start this guitar class. Would you please teach this guitar class? And I said, sure, okay. No big deal, I've done that. And but I walked in, and this was not your average group of people. These guys, when I would throw new challenges at them, they did it all. Every time, and sometimes they'd look at me and say, Mrs. Cowan, are you sure you want us to do this? I'm like, yes, I'm sure I want you to do that. And then they did it, and it all worked out. They came out with some great things. And then a year and a half ago, they said, Mrs. Cowan, could we please have a concert? And I went, okay, why not? And we went out into the hall, and these guys rocked the world. And because of these guys, Centennial has been looked at the state level as a model for guitar education. And it's because of the people who started it 2 years ago. It's not even a year and a half anymore. It's 2 years ago now, guys. And so we have four awards that I need to give out. They say Founders Award on them. Just hand me one and I'll start. Great. All right. The first Founders Award, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do without the dreidel song anymore. The first Founders Award goes to Mr. Jonathan Stout. No, we're not breaking out into dreidel right now. The next award, and this is kind of sad for me because this is the third generation that I've ever had in my classroom. His two brothers came through my orchestra long before he joined my guitar program. And over the past year and a half, I've gotten to watch him grow really tall. But this Founders Award goes to Mr. Tom Broadhead. ago, there was another kid who sat in the back of the classroom, didn't say a whole lot really, and then all of a sudden was like, hey, Mrs. Cowan, let me show you this, and then melted your face off. It was really great. This Founders Award now, he's amazing. What he's done over the past 2 years, this guy has taken off. I love the way he plays now and the stuff that he comes up with. This Founders Award goes to Mr. Drew. Okay. This lovely young lady, I've gotten to know her very well, and she's become a little bit of my right-hand person when I'm in times of stress. There's a lot of her that reminds me of me at her age, which is scary. But she musically has just been amazing and works so well with everybody. She is the one that will take all the freshmen under her wing and make sure that they are all going to be okay, because she's really good at making sure that others are okay. This Founders Award goes to Ms. Caitlin. We had some seniors join our Guitar 2 class this year by audition and recommendation, and wow, they have rocked our worlds. It's been great, right? So we have a senior recognition award first. This lovely young lady who is a leader in our school. Global Diversity Council is not going to know what to do without you, right? And she also is probably one of the bravest women that I have ever met, as Mr. Henderson said too. She's the first one willing to try it out. Let's see what happens, right? This one goes to Miss Agnes. This young man came into my class this year, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. You know, I've heard things, and but mainly I've heard him perform before. I actually heard him perform over the summer, and he joined our class, and he really added a lot to it, along with the backup to Dreidel song. So I have to give this one to Mr. Joe Wandes. Young man came in. He really never says a whole lot. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's one of the quiet ones you need to watch out for. But when you put a guitar into his hands, he can really make it sing, and it's been an honor to work with Mr. Hill Dugan. So now, I must hand the lovely mic over to my co-director who teaches our Guitar 1 classes. May I present Mr. Jeff Myrick.
Well, first of all, I'll just say that this is a great group of seniors to represent the fact that there has been a real sense of really innovation behind what we've done. Obviously following Ms. Cowan's lead from a couple of years ago, and now what we have is essentially a huge number of students, almost 60 in 2 classes. Not all of them are able to be here tonight, and it's just really exciting what's happened. So thank you, Ms. Cowan, for your leadership. So the first senior honor from Guitar 1 is going to be George Salome. All right, and then Mark Salome. All right. Oh, it's a Panay Boy Posse.
Woo! Go for Nut!
All right, and then Ellis Leslie. And finally, AJ Jones.
Okay, thank you. Good. Can we give another round of applause to all of our seniors? So we have one final song to present tonight, and we changed this up a little bit. changed it tonight because I realized that these guys in the front here were the ones that created what's going to happen over the next decade for Centennial High School. And they are the true innovators of this. And so we are going to end tonight with a new version of American Pie as soon as I can find the mic stand. Ooh, I heard the dreidel song. Hello? We'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. I'm going to be hearing that in my sleep. And thank you all so much for coming out tonight, and we hope you enjoyed the performances, and we will leave you with our version of American Pie.
she just smiled and turned away. Went down to the sacred store where I heard the music years before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. But in the streets the children screamed, the lovers cried, and the poets